Welcome to Rockstar Launcher, powered by Fulton Young PLLC. We're thrilled to talk to our very first guest, Rockstar himself. And before we introduce our guest, I would love to introduce our very own Rockstar, Colin Hayes. Although he doesn't look it, Colin has decades of legal experience under his belt. His breadth and depth of experience ranges from being a litigation, M&A, and securities lawyer at Jackson Walker, an antitrust lawyer at the Federal Trade Commission, and being in-house at Nokia, dealing with all of the issues that arise from a product life cycle, as well as negotiating all the contracts for naming facilities all across the country, including the Staples Center in LA. And lastly, he also had to be very quick and nimble on his feet, being general counsel of startup companies. We are so thrilled to have our guest here today. And Colin, please introduce our guest.
Thank you, Wei Wei, for that nice introduction. I am thrilled to have my man with us here today, Davidson Frère. Davidson and I go back for a number of years, and over the years we've become very good friends, and it is my honor to call you my friend and client.
Oh, thank you.
So welcome.
Thank you guys for having me. It's quite an honor to be here.
So I want our viewers to get to know you just a bit. I know you as a superstar fashion designer.
I try.
You've written several scripts.
Yeah.
And you are a writer-producer, and you have other things going on that we will get into.
Sure.
But I'd like to give you the opportunity to share a piece of big news over the last few weeks.
Yeah.
We had a store opening.
On the 2nd of November, we actually opened up our flagship on the iconic Wooster Street in New York. We've been building it in sort of not secrecy, but in silence, so we would have no pressure on limitation of a secure date or just expectations of opening it at all. But response has been amazing. We had a great team of interior designers, architects, our staff, my co-founder and CEO Francois. And obviously you were very vital in the negotiations of the lease and just us getting the space, and it's great. We're in the same iconic street as Chanel, Marc Jacobs, Tiffany & Co. A lot of prestigious brands, and we are the first POC luxury brand to ever have a flagship in Soho, so it's quite exciting. And hopeful that in a couple of years, we'll actually add a Madison location and a LA location, and hopefully something global, within the next 4 to 5 years. But it's been great, experiencing, seeing customers coming in for the first time, touching the clothes, feeling the fabrications, and great reviews on the designs has been exciting. Also with film, very therapeutic for us, for me, obviously with the having the avenue of having a brand. I got into the business of writing and producing scripts during COVID, and our first script for Fair Media was Bonafides, which is more or less a Bad Boys meets James Bond concept. And
nice.
My writer, who I gave the inspiration to, obviously we finished the script in about 4 months, and then it got to very prestigious. Can't legally disclose the production company yet because it's still under development, but we have a big A-lister who's attached to star and also produce, which is exciting, and just recently agreed to do our second film with Mark Canton, a very prestigious producer for Batman, Men in Black, 300, The Creative Power. So we're ironing out the details for that project. But all of our films for media are going to be original IP created by myself and focused in the drama and action, space, but mainly have a big emphasis on just, our lead characters being very stylish. Obviously, a vehicle to tie in the Frère brand, which is things I've learned from, I've done several movies in terms of costume, wardrobing, in terms of designing the wardrobe after we're hired. Recently, we just worked on the project with Denzel Washington, High and Low, directed by Spike. So that process, working with the amazing, costume designer Francine Tubjack, who's, she did, Glory. But Spike Lee directed it. Yeah, directed it. But the costume designer, Francine, who worked with Denzel in 5 films, Glory, his first Oscar. She did, the iconic Boomerang. She did White Man Can't Jump. She did Romeo and Israel. She did Color Purple. She just, did also the Piano Lesson, which was actually a project, produced by Denzel, directed by Denzel's son, starring Denzel's son, executive produced by his daughter, Katia. Working with someone of Francine's, experience, was just quite exciting. And obviously now with the vehicles of film and fashion, I guess I'm a creative. I don't like to put myself in a box. So I think.
I'm curious. Is there a natural sort of connection for you between fashion and film, or
I think
do you view them as separate projects?
No, I think they're both. I think you look at any iconic film. There's always a scene that you remember, and the scene is always embedded in your mind with something that they wear. You look at Thriller, the famous music video. You only know Thriller because of the jacket. Obviously the song's amazing, but every film has an iconic piece. Beverly Hills Cop has the varsity jacket. You look at Goodfellas, the tailoring on that. Look at Casino with Scorsese. Everything was all about the tailoring and the design. So I think for me, film was a natural vehicle because we did a wardrobe for Power for 4 seasons. I did, What Now? I did the wardrobing for Shaft, and those are iconic films that are known mainly for their, obviously the material is amazing, but the wardrobe is, I think, anything, you have I always say you have one chance to make a first impression, and with anything that lives on a screen for the duration of your life, you want it to be somewhat memorable, which is why I emphasize, writing scripts and producing scripts that I know I can also have, the Frère brand, do the clothing for, which just keeps everything, in the ecosystem.
Absolutely. So the Frère brand, what I'll call the core part of your business, which is on the clothing side, which also translates into the movie production media side. So with respect to the clothing brand, how did you, what was your inspiration? How did you decide to start a brand that competes against, global luxury fashion brands?
I think for me,
in New York?
I've had a lot of experience in terms of, working with different level of talent and, people. And I think this venture and time in my life, I decided to really recognize that, you have to work with the best. And, this venture, for me with Frère, I've completed a team of industry leaders that, far exceed my experience, which is the best. I always say, if you want to get better, surround yourself with better people, because you can always feed off of that. And I have no ego. I think for me, you got to learn how to ask questions and, always understand that, every day is a process for you to get better. And, I love being, I hate the age thing, but I'm the youngest guy in my company, and everyone else is, much older, which is exciting because, I'm somewhat the boss, but I'm not, because I tell everyone I'm no one's boss. We're, it's a team, because when people feel like they're helping to build their dream with you, you get more out of someone than you're building their dream. They're building your dream only. So I think.
I would love to hear how you got started.
Oh yeah, so I was in real estate for a couple years, and then I realized I wasn't that successful in the beginning because I was very young, and my appearance at the time wasn't as suave as I was. I started out wearing polo shirts and square-toed shoes, and then I realized once I started to really take a very big interest in my appearance, starting wearing suits and just making sure I was always well groomed. I became a lot more successful, but also I was always honing my craft and just becoming more articulate in the business. And but the big part of why I became somewhat of a success early days was because I appeared a lot older than I was. I started out at 18. I didn't go to college, and for me, I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So I think college is an amazing vehicle if you notice it with a specific career. I graduated high school wanting to just immediately get into the world of business. And I think growing up in New York, you're always around entrepreneurs. So I really didn't know if I wanted to be a lawyer, a doctor, this and that. I just want to be in the world of business. So I think real estate was a great vehicle because I was able to network with a lot of different characters and people, and through that I fell in love with the process of making my designing my clothes for work with a tailor that I met in New York, and I fell in love with that process at a very young age. And then at 22, 23, I decided that I wanted to kind of venture into the world of fashion, and obviously the introduction of social media in 2012. I saw the writing on the wall of, wow, you can post images and connect with people in the world for free. I was like, all right, this is probably the future. So I immediately started to just every day take daily selfies of my outfits and pics, and I started realizing that the response on the comments, there was no DMs back then. The comments was more or less about, hey, what are you wearing, opposed to the actual property I was trying to sell to someone. And I was like, all right, well, that's kind of the writing on the wall. And I had the fortunate faith in myself to say, hey, you know what, I had kind of a midlife crisis at 23, and I said, well, I think I'm still young enough to pivot, and I think I made the best decision of my life, because without doing that, I thought I would be like a real estate developer and own buildings and all this, and hopefully one day I'll maybe get back into the industry with hopefully being successful in fashion. But I think I love creating product. I love creating stories. So I look at designing a suit's like writing a script. Every detail of it is a story. The way you cut the lapel, the size of the lapel, the way the peak is, the drape, the shoulder. If you make it unlined line, is a lot of every suit, every jacket, every bomber, every tie, every garment you make is a different. I tell everyone, clothing is just an aphrodisiac to help people feel good about themselves. We're not curing any diseases. I don't take myself too seriously, and you try not to. Like, when I'm selling a product, I never try to compare a product to someone else, because you don't need to talk about someone down about someone else to make yourself look better. I think it's a bad sales tip to anyone, because they're there already. You already did half the battle. I think the other battle is making them love the product more. So I always try to just talk about what we offer, and everyone offers something different. So I think that's what you have to be, is different. And our ethos for Frere is, I like to say, stand out, don't fit in. We like to use certain, every fabric we have, we design, we mail ourselves, and the colors we use are, obviously we have a hues of classic, but a lot of I'm known for wearing color. So I think it resonates in our product. I love luxury quality, so vicunias, cashmere. I tend to not use any synthetics, but also everything we do is all made in Italy. I think that's a big thing that I've made sure that the DNA of ourselves is somewhat we're a maison. I hate saying I want to be Hermes and Chanel, but I idolize those brands. So God willing, one day we'll be as big as them. But that takes they were those brands are over 100 years old, and they were like us in the beginning. So I feel like no brand becomes who they are now from day one. It takes a lot of sacrifice, a lot of years of hard work, and a lot of years of learning your mistakes and failure. Like, we're not perfect. It's things will happen that will test us and that will make us better, and that's the part of growing any business. I believe.
Well, it seems like you're well on your way.
I'm still a pup in the industry, but I think having a great support system of I say your counsel, your friends, your family, your team, in any business you do, whether it's fashion, real estate, acting, cooking, whatever you want to do. I think they always say you are who you surround yourself with. I don't have too many friends, because obviously I learned be very, very just wary of who you surround yourself around, because they're going to only rub off the energy that you're going to act off of who you're around. If someone's not motivated or someone's not eager to be successful, you're going to become a little complacent. I think complacency is the biggest downfall for anyone, because every time you relax, someone else is trying to take over what you're doing. So I've learned that.
So talk a little bit about the store itself. And,
Oh, yeah.
And when you walk into the store, what sort of atmosphere do you create? And what's the vibe
The
of
inspiration
store?
was, one of my favorite cities is Paris. We went, Francois and I, we both have French descent. I'm Haitian, and Francois is, was from Paris, and we wanted the aura of the store to be very vibrant and energetic. So when you walk into the ready-to-wear section of the store, you have beautiful hues of like a beige chevron, and the oak selected for the main store is a nice, vibrant, light shade of a wood, and we have the floating wood shelving on the walls, the lighting. Oh my God, Michael, our architect, who worked 18 years of Coach, he worked at the Row, he worked on numerous luxurious projects. Was very vital. I gave him a vision, and we collaborated on making sure the hues of the brand. Obviously, the brand color is sage green. Sage means peace and hope. So I'm at a point in my life where I feel like I'm at peace, but peace and growth. So we're still growing. So you see, the facade of the store is sage green. All of the custom couches inside the store are sage green. But then we had this. I wanted to create an oasis where we have a lot of VIP clients. So we wanted a space where, let's say, a Jay-Z or a Denzel Washington will come into the retail store. We would have somewhat of a secluded area. So we've called it our VIP lounge. When you walk in, the ambiance now changes where the chevron floors are a lot darker. The paint on the walls has a nice egg tone. So it becomes calm. The front's like your living room. It's very bright, welcoming, and the back is more or less like, hey, you're in your private den. There's a beautiful flush bar of sage marble from the back wall to the bar to the sales table. The bathroom in there is much bigger. The fitting room in there is more robust, but the hues of the couch in there is a nice olive tone, and then the carpet, the lighting, the marble in the bathroom, everything is very, very calculated to give that person very, very luxurious feel. The bar is stocked with top shelf Ace of Spades, Doucet, wine, and we have obviously just the level of service I wanted you to get is very white glove, where you can get caviar or you're getting a suit, when you're getting a knit, and it's a private sliding door. You can change the music. I think our product is not obviously cheap, so when someone comes into that, they want to feel the experience of what they're getting, and I think no one is offering that in New York. And Kamel, our VP of operations, we went to like 70 stores around New York, and I really wanted to take pieces of what I like from everything, which wasn't much. So I said, well, okay, if I don't see what I like, inspiration-wise, let's just do it ourselves. And I think we collaborated all together. Everyone had their their great input, and I think that's the one thing that I've learned is be open to suggestions. And there's a lot of things that I want to do that people are like, it's not going to work. And look at it now. If I would have done some things I wanted to do, they were right. It wasn't going to work. So I think it was a great experience, and obviously building it in peace with no pressure of no one knowing was so therapeutic, because God forbid if it failed, then no one would have known. But so it was definitely, now the response has been great. We've only been open, it'll be a week Saturday, so it's we have a 10-year lease, so we'll be there for a while.
So in the store you have ready-to-wear clothing.
Yeah.
If a customer comes into the store, they can also get measured and fitted for custom clothing.
Yeah.
Which direction is the brand going?
I think we created this brand to have more of a ready-to-wear approach. I think my CEO is quite experienced in this business of building luxury, and he's become a great friend of mine, and his birthday is the day before mine, so we're both Leo, so we are always it's a good and bad thing, but it's always a good thing, because we're both passionate, but he comes in a world where obviously ready-to-wear is the vital point of any business, and the made-to-measure and bespoke will always be a vehicle for us, but we're building a brand now where we're more accessible to the mass of the world, well, which is, you know, our price points for the 1 or 2% of the world. But, you know, there's still an offering that I've never offered before, where now, you know, give you an example, we had 2 VIPs yesterday reached out to us, said, hey, one needs a 58, one needs a 56. You know, I was never able to offer that. Now, someone can come in, get the same experience that you got with me privately, but now we have a experienced team that will give you that service, and you can come here today, leave today with that product. That is a business that is scalable. You know, to God willing, one day we're part of, you know, one of these prestigious groups, LVMH or Curring or Richmond, but that's gonna take time. You know, and I think you look at the success of, you know, a lot of brands that I idolize, the Tom Fords, the Ralph Lauren. You know, those businesses, you know, you need to have a product that's relatively available. You know, we're going to offer our eyewear collection. You know, we have ties, we have, you know, pocket squares, we have bow ties. You know, in a couple of years, we're going to launch leather goods, fragrance, footwear. So yeah, you know, the plan of getting a store is not to just have customers.
So the New York store, that's the first store.
Yeah.
Your current product assortment is evolving.
Yes.
And so over the next few years, we can expect stores in other cities,
Absolutely,
other countries,
yeah.
and lots more products.
Yeah, you know, the big thing you see too when you get into the store, our emphasis, you know, was a big push into luxury sportswear. So you'll see a lot of, you know, what I love to call the leisure suit, which is, you know, a guy, let's say, you know, a gentleman like yourself, you know, you're dapper right now with this beautiful suit, and then, you know, you want to go have, a lunch or a casual night out with a colleague, and you don't want to be all buttoned up. You know, we offer, you know, an array of options of wool knit and cashmere, wool and cashmere, 100% cashmere leisure suits, where it's a very luxurious bomber jacket, which I implemented the same details of the pick stitching in the shoulders, you know, the single seam on the shoulder, and it's just, man, luxurious. You know, the custom ribbing from the 2x2 to the 2x1, everything's handmade in our atelier in Florence, but it gives that guy who doesn't want to wear a suit the option to have the same feel of it, but it's relaxed. You know, it's completely all the knitwear and all the leisure suits in our store are completely stretch, it's knit, you know, all the fabric is milled by us for us. So the same emphasis of the luxurious feel of a suit, now we're offering in these array of colors for the leisure suit, navies, grays, oatmeal. It's been quite nice.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, you were kind enough to fit me in a suit,
yeah.
And to this day, I get compliments on it.
Oh man, my pleasure.
It's the nicest piece of clothing that I have in my closet.
We got another one coming for you, a navy one, man. So
we're gonna do more.
Yeah. That was
Now,
great.
Gotta do more for
wasn't
sure.
there also an Oscar appearance?
No,
Yeah.
we went to the Grammys.
Yeah, we went to the
Grammys.
Grammys.
That was
so-
great. It was a rainy day, but it was a fun night, man. You know, it was a great weekend. We both, you know, we went to the Oscars early this year, and it was a great day. You know, the weather should have been nicer, but you know, we saw
control
that
weather.
iconic Jay-Z speech that went viral over a couple of days. But it was great to be in California for a couple of days, and just kind of. I always say, the vibe out was great. I think when people. Your relationship with your counsel, everyone's always like, it's business. I think any relationship with anyone, you gotta have some sort of personal relationship, because I think, real relationships are built off friendship. Some things are gonna go bad, but when you guys have that personal relationship, you can kind of like, all right, you can massage things a little bit.
It was really nice to see you in your element during that trip.
Oh yeah.
Because we had things to do, but you were also doing fittings.
Yeah, we dressed David O for the
You
Grammys.
had celebrities there, and
nice.
everybody was in and out.
Yeah,
and it was educational for me to see you.
Yeah.
And so, thank you for having me out.
Oh, my
to the
pleasure.
Grammys.
My pleasure, man.
That was a blast.
It was great. We got Grammys next year. Nominations going to come out
sure.
today, so.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like Dee will be keeping you busy with his grand plans, expanding into all these different merchandise and
Yeah, we look
that
forward
grand
to it.
scheme. So it's so good to see
I
this
love
relationship
what you guys are doing.
blossom.
This is great. Thank you guys for having me, man. This is it's an honor to be a guest on the show, and also
Very first guest.
I love that, man. Damn, it's a great day.
We'll have to have you back. This is probably not the last
Absolutely.
visit.
I would love to come back, guys. This is great.
Excellent.
I love the platform of you guys amplifying, your rock stars. I think it's great. I think obviously you guys are, the best at what you do, and amplifying others in other industries is a great platform, and the world needs shows like this.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Oh, my
Thank you
pleasure.
so much. Thank you, Colin. Thank you.
I'm not sure how much time we have left. You may have to edit this, but we have 5 minutes? Okay.
Cool.
Okay. So it looks like we have a few more minutes,
Let's
Dee.
do it.
So I'm curious about how you got, into the celebrity environment, and you become somewhat of a celebrity yourself. So how did you walk through those doors, and how do you keep going through
I
those
think for
doors?
me it was I think I was always when I, at an early age, 21 going out, 22, I was wearing a suit going out to the venues in New York was quite odd for someone my age. So I was always the guy that stood out, and celebrities would come up to me and ask me, "Man, what do you do? What do you do?" And I would tell them what I did, and and I would keep contacts, and once I had a viable business and a product, it was quite easy for me to make relationships with stylists and the celebrities themselves, where I think at an early age I was very, very keen on emphasizing that, hey, the product has to be paid for. I never gifted a product, and I think the respect was garnered early, because these celebrities too, if you tell them, hey, well, come to an event, and there's an appearance fee that they always garner, but if you tell them, hey, come here and I'll get a seat for free, they'll never buy anything ever from you again. So I think the beginning, putting an emphasis on product has to be paid for, that's why I was able to build this robust list of clients that are reoccurring. And now with having this retail presence, it's amazing for them, because oh my God, I don't got to wait 4 weeks anymore, 5 weeks. And I think what excites me is, all my relationships with celebrities are organic. And now we have opportunity to grow and get more. I think, I've been very, very adamant on, treating these celebrities with a level of human being respect. I don't, there's a lot of people that I've dressed and worked with that you don't even know, that I've never taken photos with, because, you're not there for that, and also celebrity doesn't want to feel like you're trying to manipulate their image. These celebrities get paid millions of dollars to have their likeness used. So if they're gracious enough to pay for a product from Frere and myself, I always, hey guys, are you cool with me posting this? Oh, sure, of course. You gotta be always just very keen on understanding that, their image, has a value. And I think them being gracious enough to wear our product and buy our product is a testament on our craftsmanship, on the respect for the brand. And obviously now I've been able to, become less hands-on by having a viable team of of great people that can actually, I've been here for a couple of days, and the team is the ship is still going. I think that's something I never had before. So I've always been anxious, oh my God, I can't leave because I gotta do this, I gotta do that, and then wow, I'm here, and it's all right, I'm watching on the camera, all right, things are still moving along. So I think that's something that it took me a lot to really understand that that's what was needed to be a success. And I think, again, it's only been 5 days, but he's known about this for my dream for 3 years. So it's
we've been working.
Seeing it come to fruition was it's still gratifying. I'm ready to get back to New York and get back there and be there every day.
So I have to share this. My nephew, John Swinton, hi John, if you're watching.
Yeah.
You and I were having wings at a local spot last year, and we posted a photo.
Yeah.
My nephew's been following you on Instagram for years.
Oh man.
He had no idea that I knew you.
Oh man.
And he went nuts.
Oh man.
He said, I can't believe that you know Davidson Frère. How do you know him? And I said, well, he's a client. We've been working on some stuff. And that's when I first kind of got a clue that you and your brand are, you're out there and you're doing great things, and we're going to continue to do great things that people watch.
I love that, man. That's why I think it's very important on, the image you set out, and the examples that you because everyone's watching. So I think for me, that's why this part of my career is very important, to just be as respectful and as customer facing as possible, because obviously in this industry, your image is what sells.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So I think that's about wraps it up.
That was great, yeah, that
We
was-
will include your links to your website,
Oh,
your
thank you so
Instagram
much.
Instagram.
handle,
Appreciate that. Wow.
and so that people can follow you.
Thank you guys. Wow.
Follow and
Wow.
buy this man's clothing. We've been
Wow.
working hard. He works hard traveling across the country, traveling to Italy.
Yeah. My
And
back
so
feels that. Yeah, for sure.
when you're buying Frere clothing, you are buying well-made,
Quality.
Yeah.
clothing that,
Yeah.
that this man has invested his time and energy in, and I've seen that firsthand.
Oh man,
So,
thank you guys.
it's a pleasure.
This is
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
All right.